All right, welcome back to the B team. We are back after we have just now watched Thursday night football, Friday night football, Sunday 1 p.m. and 4 o'clock football, and Mike. I mean that's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. You're on probation watch.
Now I'm already on probation watch, bro.
2 rounds of football, essentially. You're on probation watch.
I had people ride with me too, and I can't. I'm not even apologizing to you guys. Like, I'm glad you did. Mm-hmm. This was the worst beat ever.
Yeah.
You saw the stat that you put on the Instagram. Teams with a 4-point spread or higher, leading by at least 2 touchdowns going into the second half, are 66-1-1 against the spread. 66-1-1. For people who don't understand the numbers here, 66 wins, 66 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. And unfortunately, because Will Levis should just work for Hellman's and get the frig off the field, should be working for Hellman's and imploded. Dude, they were up 17-3. Okay, listen, it was an ugly game on both sides of the ball. Caleb Williams threw for 93 yards. The offense did not do a single thing that game. Will Levis.
The offense scored 2 points.
That's it.
Yeah.
They did not do garbage. They didn't do diddly squat. You're up 17-3. Okay, special teams comes in, punt return for a touchdown. All right, that's fine. That's a special teams problem. And then it was 17-16. So then 17-10. I'm pretty sure they get 2 field goals. And then the pick that Will Levis threw. You're going down, and he just flicks it pretty much right towards the cornerback who was guarding I don't even know who. Pick 6. Take the sack, bro. It's the fourth quarter. It's 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. Take the sack, punt it away, trust your defense to stop them because the offense, again, was not doing anything all day. All day.
How did you feel when the block punt occurred?
I was like...
was that the moment where you're like,
no,
all right, something might happen here?
No. That pick was the moment I'm like, This is done. I'm like, this is bad. Like, this is... Listen, I was with some people, and this is going into halftime. Again, they're up 17-3. You know your team's doing well when the only time the Bears offense was actually doing something was less than 2 minutes going into the second half. That's when everyone puts up some garbage time points. I looked at my cash out. Again, let's not forget that I had a plus 4.5 coverage. It wasn't money line. Listen, money line at that point, 17-3, I would be like, even 17-10. I'm like, okay, like, I'm getting a little nervous here. Like, we just got to take care of the ball. Let's just get some first downs here. I had a 4.5 point coverage. So they essentially were up 3 possessions at one point. And that pick happened. And I'm like, oh no, this is the catastrophe. Man, Will Levis, that was pitiful. Tony Pollard had a great game. Tajay Spears was kind of iffy.
Tony.
Again, they didn't have D-Hop. That could have been a big difference maker. He was active, but he wasn't playing. I think he only had 1 catch on the day. Like at the first half, he looked great. They got off to a slow start, but then they were running the ball a little bit. Will Levis was slinging it. Like, he looked pretty damn good. Scrambling, getting first downs. But, man, he had time in the pocket. I don't know what the hell was he just stupid sophomore mistakes. That's all it was. But again, 4.5 points. I had no ambition on cashing out. I had 0 ambition.
Well, up until the last Will Levis drive before the Bears took the 7-point lead, I thought that there was no way they weren't going to figure it out.
Yes.
You know, like they were at least going to make it close or win the game.
Yes.
And when it went to 24-17, I was just like, gosh, like this is over.
I'm watching this game and I'm like, oh, it's over. Here, my money is going down the drain. And also, for people who haven't watched the story, I put $350 on the Titans plus 4.5. So
not good. Not your day.
Not my day. And But again, like
the Titans are real bad.
They are real bad.
We have to call a spade here. I know they had a 17-point lead, but
again,
they blew it. They're real bad.
It's early. Again, I'm not going to call a team good or bad right off the bat. It's just not happening. I'm not calling the Bears bad. I'm not going to call the Bears bad because they can turn it around, and they have a rookie quarterback who's a number 1 overall pick. Still got the dub.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, the only team I'll call bad right now is Carolina Panthers. That and the Giants. Those are the only 2 teams right now I will call bottomless pit already looking towards next year, which sucks for those fans.
Yeah. But we get to do our rankings.
Yeah.
I forgot about those. I can't wait to do that.
We can do those too.
I can't wait for that.
But on the Bears side of the ball, again, like the offense just was not there at all. There was no offense. Caleb was missing a lot of throws. He had a couple good throws, but he was missing a lot of throws too. I thought Tennessee's defense contained him. I thought they kept him in the pocket. The secondary was covering the hell out of the Bears receivers. I thought they did really well. Unfortunately, special teams happens, and when you have an offense that keeps going out 3 and outs, the defense is going to let up some points. It's just, but again, that game is on Will Levis. And I don't want to single out someone here, but my God, what was that pick? So, yeah, I lost. I am on probation watch.
You are.
The Titans and Bears. Bears win 24-17. Caleb gets the dub, more so the defense. And then my second mortal, which we'll go into, I lost by a half a point. Brutal. Okay, hold on real quick. What was the line? Was it 46.5 or 47.5?
40. You said on the show 46.
46.5?
Yes.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So I lost. So that was okay. It's funny enough. I was going to put 350 on that game. I don't know what's worse. What would be worse to lose? A half-point spread game or an implosion?
No, yours was the worst loss.
I think this is 100% the worst one.
On Friday morning, I think you and I are texting, and I was like, "Oh, Mikey, that's brutal. That's brutal." Because I was already telling you you're on probation watch.
I was.
And
yes,
you told me the whole time, you're like, "No. I picked the right game. We're all good." Dude, you picked the wrong game. You wanted to lose that game by a half point 100%. There is no way you wanted to lose it in this way.
Real quick, before we move on to the Chiefs and Ravens, I still think deep down that Titans pick was right. I know, listen,
it was wrong. It was wrong.
The outcome was wrong, but
it was wrong.
If it had the potential to be right. Again, you look, we have the numbers. I know, yeah, I know what you're going to say, but we have the numbers. They were up 17-3, and I had a 4.5 point spread. Tell me, number one, who's cashing out? Who was cashing out at that point? Not me. I ain't no fucking bitch. I ain't cashing out with a 4.5 point spread. Listen, these games happen. You saw the numbers. We're gonna move on. I already got my pick for next week locked. I already know it. No one fade me or no one tail me. If you want to fade me because you want to go opposite of me, by all means. But I got balls. He's got balls for going on this show, putting our picks out there. When you have a tough loss like that, you take it on the chest and you just move on.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. She got me.
Got him. No, all right, let's move on here. So into the Ravens and Chiefs game, Thursday Night Football, the inevitable happening. Mahomes it's just another day in the life of being Patrick Mahomes. You know, he is in love with the refs. The refs love him. Ghost calls. And it was another week 1 opening game where the NFL likes to enforce a rule that they never told anyone and not one fan knew about. You know what I mean? And
no clue.
The Ravens were on the receiving end of every flag early on,
which is ridiculous. Okay, I will say this. Do I like that they're cracking down on tackles getting more of like just not getting a head start like Jawan Taylor, which honestly should have been called more than Ronnie Stanley, by the way. I like that the
Eagles don't make a Super Bowl if this is enforced.
Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't like how they were calling it on one side. I do like the idea that, hey, you need to set up correctly. If not, you're going to get penalized for it. And if you don't correct that mistake, you're going to continue to get penalized for it. Mm-hmm. Was it a little out of proportion? Yes, it was. Because Ronnie Stanley was not that out of position. Jawan Taylor, on the other hand, was jumping way too quickly before the hike, and they didn't get called for it. So hopefully we don't have to see. I mean, we haven't seen it all Sunday, so that's very strange. We'll move on from there.
It's just, yeah, we can move on. Let's get into the actual game here. So we talked a lot about this during the game, after the game, the next day, over the weekend. I mean, Ravens, we got to let Lamar cook. You made this man into a check down merchant. It's just not working. Mm-hmm. It's not working. You ran the ball the whole first drive. What did it lead to? A touchdown. You went away from it. And it was just like, it was almost like they didn't know what they had on offense. You know what I mean? It looked like they didn't know what their identity was for a lot of the game. And their identity is to let Lamar cook. Mm-hmm. Let him go out there and just play.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
Agree. I agree with everything you just said. It's that game. Okay, it's a first game. This is why it's hard to judge right off the bat, because it's the first game of the season. Like, every team's not going to look like how they did. The Falcons aren't going to look like this for good. The Ravens aren't gonna. The Bears aren't gonna. It's just not how it's gonna work. However, the way that Todd Monken called that game was just not the right game plan. And we need to address the fact that they have no other receivers besides Zay Flowers. They went and got the luxury pick in Derrick Henry. Obviously, he's going to be he's a Hall of Famer, but besides Zay Flowers, they don't have a single other receiver on that team. No. Rashad Bateman, pretty much looking like a bust now.
All right, so if you look at the stats, he had 2 receptions, 53 yards, but only 2 receptions, you know what I mean? He's on 5 targets. Mm-hmm. So, like, something, you got to get 75 yards on that many targets. I mean, you look at Isaiah Likely, he got 9 receptions, 111 yards. His shoe was just one size too big.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Mahomes, wear white shoes.
Wear white shoes. I do like how they try to get Zay active right away, like feed him the ball, get him in the groove.
Yeah.
I just think they shied away from Derrick Henry. He disappeared in the second and third quarter. We did not see. We saw Justice Hill on the field, but you got it. There was a stat too. That first half, I think the furthest they were throwing downfield was a yard. You sent some stat.
It was 1.3 yards or something like that.
That's an issue.
Something like that. He was a check down merchant the whole game. He was a check down merchant.
But the reason why they were doing that was because Casey was stacking the box pretty much 85% of the time, because obviously you have to stop Derrick Henry, which they did. Besides, maybe he had 1 touchdown. Not that many yards. Yeah. I think what they should have done is, what was working was power runs for Lamar. They would swing out the guard and the tackle would go with him, seal the edge, and fullback would flow, and then Lamar would run. That was actually working for them. That was when they scored that touchdown.
Similar to what Justin Fields did today. Yes. You just got to let the kid play.
You got to let him
He had 16 rushes for 122 yards.
Come on,
man.
I'm going to say this now, too. I'm not here for this Lamar slander shit, all right? He's the reason that they were close in that game. Mm-hmm. The defense did all right. The offense, Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely, obviously Lamar's throwing both of them the ball. He also had 13 yards rushing?
Who?
Lamar.
Lamar had 16 for 122.
122 yards rushing. And listen, everyone's going to talk about, he missed Zay Flowers in the end zone, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. But the next play, he hit Likely in the end zone for a touchdown. Unfortunately, his feet are a little too big and they should have been smaller. What's up with Lamar? He played with a chip on his shoulder. I thought he played phenomenal. I thought he ran hard. He didn't just run out of bounds. He initiated contact. Mm-hmm. He was stepping up in the pocket. That offensive line was not, it's not the same. And we need to acknowledge the fact that losing Morgan Moses, John Simpson, and all these other guys has hurt them. It has 100% hurt them. That's why, I mean, again, Derrick Henry disappeared. They couldn't run the ball with him. And another thing,
ugly.
Real quick, another thing that's going to be a problem or an issue for them, which they need to figure out very soon rather than later, is Derrick Henry likes getting fed the ball while Lamar is under center.
Yep.
Lamar likes playing in shotgun. So that's an issue they need to address, and they need to figure that out quickly. But again, I'm not panicking on the Ravens. I am panicking on Mark Andrews because Isaiah Likely showed out. He's going to be a stud for them in the future. So they'll be all right. Again, they played the Chiefs and they almost beat them. So on the road.
Yeah, last thing in this game, Rashee Rice absolutely murdered Roquan Smith.
Yeah, it looked like a wide receiver 1 out there. He sure did.
Murdered this game.
Xavier Worthy looked great too, even though he only got
fast.
2 touches?
Dude, he's so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
I'm very curious to see how they're going to continue to use him because he is smaller and he is a fast guy. Are they going to just use him in gadget plays? Is he going to be more of a jet sweep type of guy, kind of like Jameson Williams was last year, send him downfield? Like in fantasy terms, I don't think he's going to produce every single week, but you don't take the risk of sitting him just because he has electrifying speed.
Yep.
Of course, he had a blown coverage gimme, and then he had a great jet sweep rush for a touchdown. He's going to be a problem, man, and he's only going to get better with Patty. So, yeah, again, great game. The Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They might three-peat. So,
I don't know.
They're damn good, bro.
We'll see. All right, so over to the team who our guest last week claimed would end the three-peat, Eagles and the Packers. Eagles pulled out the win 34-29 in a rather odd game, I would say. Very odd game. You know, we should never have a game back in Sao Paulo. We should never have a game back in South America. This isn't the football that they like, and you could tell by the atmosphere that the game was played in. Not one person in that stadium knew what was going on. Not one person. There's touchdowns being scored, and no one's cheering. They have no clue. Why are we playing games there? And then on top of that, the field's too soft. All these guys are falling all over the place.
That was it. It was shame on the NFL for that. Shame on Goodell. Shame on the NFL because again, people were slipping and sliding. You saw Saquon with his first run. That's a no-go because could potentially cause an injury.
Yes.
Again, trial and error. They tried it out. They tried out Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it just did not work, in my opinion. I just don't think they should do it again. Europe's one thing. Sao Paulo, even the players were saying it too. But what were your thoughts on the game?
So there was 2 big talking points from the game, and I have a third that I think everyone knows is what I'm going to get into. But number 1, Jordan Love injury. Depending on what the degree of injury it is, I think I saw it was his MCL.
I think 4 to 6 weeks they were saying.
Now, that's not going to really hurt the Packers at all, I don't think. Malik Willis is their backup. Very unproven backup right there. Very unproven quarterback in general. Not sure what he's going to do, but if you could pick up Josh Jacobs right now in fantasy, I'd pick him up right now because he's going to get about 30 carries a game. I just don't know what to think about this Packers team without Jordan Love. I think that kind of, they're playing for second place now. Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, again, I think Jordan Love looked pretty. I think he had a really good game. I think he looked comfortable.
Him and Jaden Reed looked really good.
Jaden Reed is a dog. The receivers trust him, and he was slinging it. They did the right thing. I mean, you hate to see it because, again, it was like, 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and that happened.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. Obviously, he just went one way, he went the other. You hate to see it. In regards to the game, I just think it was kind of sloppy all around. Like both on the Packers and the Eagles.
It looked like a game where both teams
they weren't
flew
comfortable.
10 hours to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what it looked like.
And that's the thing too. Like it just again first game of the year, but it just was very very sloppy. I think again, like we talked about this, and we were right about this. We're gonna get into the birds here. Like, what were we not right? Was I not spitting facts when we were talking? Is Jalen Hurts a bum? And that whole video, they did exactly what they should have done. Give Saquon the ball. That's it. He almost had 4 touchdowns.
Well, he almost 3. Let's start at 3.
He had 2. 3 touchdowns. He had 3.
Oh, yeah,
he had a receiving one. So good throw by Hurts. Obviously, those 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
The line looked fine. There were a couple of times where the defense, you got to give credit to the defense. They got around the edges there. Saquon looked great, and I was so happy to watch that. I don't know about you, but seeing Saquon finally succeed and be free was a great sight to see. I thought Devontae played well. I thought AJ had a good game.
Very good game.
Jalen, again, this is what did I say? Give him the Rodgers treatment, because when he had the ball in his hands, I was nervous. He had 2 really, really bad interceptions.
He should have had 4 interceptions.
listen, he battled. He battled throughout the game. He had his runs, but man, he doesn't have to be flashy. He just has to take care of the football. I think all that flash from the tush push and him running, it's not gone, but it doesn't have to be as abundant as it was back in the past.
Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback when he plays like Cooper Rush. Stop trying to play like you're an all-pro quarterback. You're not an all-pro quarterback. You're a great quarterback when you play like Cooper Rush.
He just doesn't
hand the ball to Saquon, and when the guy is open, just do your route.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't try and make a super play. If it's not on, just throw it away. He tries to force balls in all the time, and he's going to turn it over. Mr. Perfect preseason already leads the NFL in interceptions going into the weekend. I don't know what the stats are on today if anyone had 2 interceptions.
Will Levis.
Will Levis did.
Yeah, okay. And I know that for a fact.
Yep, you would know that. Jalen Hurts currently is tied for the lead for interceptions, and he was Mr. Perfect, could do no wrong, best quarterback in the world. Enough with that. He's Cooper Rush in an Eagles uniform.
Again, I don't want to harp on him, but like I don't know how. Okay, they won the game, but I can't sit here and say that he is the next. That he should get a contract like Dak or some shit. That might be a hot ass take right now.
Why?
I mean, Dak shouldn't even have got that contract.
Did you see the game today?
Yes, I did see the game.
Why would Jalen Hurts get anything close to that?
Fair. That's fair. I think that there was too much expectation on him to be some type of stud that he's not. And again, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He won the game, but he is coming down towards don't make mistakes, take care of the ball, don't sit in the pocket too long, which he was doing. I mean,
Cooper Rush.
He was holding onto the ball too long. He wasn't throwing away in certain situations. And when he was, again, everyone was slipping around the freaking field. I get it.
That's not an excuse, though. Like,
and it goes for both sides.
When it comes to the quarterback, you're watching everyone out there. If you see a guy slip, don't throw him the ball.
Yeah. So I'm all in all, I think we need to pump the brakes on this fucking
I can
MVP
tell when
shit.
you agree with me.
I mean, yes, I do.
Yeah.
But I just want to reiterate the point because obviously Birds fans are going to hear this and be like, oh, you guys are haters. We want to know. Go Birds, fly Eagles, fly.
They played really good. It's just Jalen Hurts pisses me off because he shouldn't have 2 interceptions.
Like you couldn't tell me that you were not concerned when Jalen Hurts is in the pocket that you're not nervous.
Yes.
Like even Birds fans, and they won't say it because they won the game, but like I was watching him in the pocket. I'm like, oh my God, like just don't turn the ball over. And that's not good, dude. And obviously that's what, like, okay, I did the same with Will Levis today, but like I'm not comparing apples to fucking apples right now. He doesn't have to do, all in all, he doesn't have to do what he was told to do back in the day. He had a tush push and all that. Yes, his stats were padded because of it, but now you have Saquon Barkley, utilize that guy. That's it.
Yes.
It's that, you know what? I give them credit because they did that, and that's why they won the game. Yes.
Coaching staff gets credit.
Secondary, Quinyon Mitchell looked good.
He did. He did.
I'm still very concerned about it.
It's gonna get. I mean, 29 points from a Green Bay Packers team who has like 1 wide receiver.
They have a couple, but not like a wide receiver 1. Jaden Reed's now going to be a wide receiver 1, but he still doesn't feel like a wide receiver.
But
1.
when you look at this, it's not something that you look at and you're like, oh, I'm scared of that group.
Yeah, it's just an average group with one guy that's a little bit better. Like I like Romeo Doubs. I think Christian Watson's overrated. I think he's average at best.
Let's go through this real quick. Jaden Reed, dog. Romeo Doubs, good. Going to get you like 40 to 50 yards a game. Good.
He could snap any day, though.
Josh Jacobs, he's not going to get you much against a good defense in the air.
Yes.
All right, we have Tucker Kraft, whatever.
He had a good game.
2 catches, 37
Just
yards.
very young. They're a very young team.
Christian Watson, 3 catches for 13 yards. He's a boomer bust guy, but eventually his hamstring's going to pop.
Yeah. I do not have
Emmanuel Wilson. Let's not even talk about him. No point. Luke Musgraves did nothing.
Goose egg.
Dontavian Wicks, nothing. Did nothing.
They're just too young right now, and that's why.
But that's
even
what I mean.
So no, and that's why I'm concerned as well because you have these young guys. I think everyone knows that it's Jaden Daniels and Romeo Doubs. Those are the guys that are going to put up points. Jaden Daniels went on, and he was like wide open on a couple of like
Jaden
that
Reed.
one or Jaden. Yes, Jaden Reed. Jesus,
you were confused the shit out of me there.
Jaden Reed was like wide open on a touchdown. He was a deep cross to the right side of the field, and he was open. And Jordan Love hit him. Listen, he played well, but I pumped the brakes on the whole team. It's one game at a time. Great win in Sao Paulo. Let's move on. You got the Falcons next week.
Yes. Hand up. Great team. You beat a team that has a very good quarterback, very mid receiving core.
There you go.
All right, on to the next one. So let's get into the Cowboys game here. Just finished up. I have a bunch of talking points from the game that I took down throughout it. I want to start with the big one. Rain Dakota Prescott's back, baby. 4 years. Everyone's shaking their head. All right? But here's the thing that we have to stop talking about. This whole narrative that it's going to ruin the Micah deal it's dumb because it actually doesn't make sense.
Explain.
By Dak signing this deal and CD signing the deal that he did and the way they worked the money, they have more cap space now than they did before. So this whole thought that Micah won't be able to get a deal done and like the cap space is now completely gone, it's fraudulent. Like it's not even a real thing. Like we're still going to be able to pay these guys because of the way that Jerry worked these deals. And I think we all have to give Jerry a little bit of credit here. All right. Did it take very long to get these two deals done? Absolutely. But is that the way Jerry does his business all the time? And he's hard? Yes, he's stubborn. He does that. He also is the same guy that looked at Amari Cooper, told him to leave in a year. And now we're looking at Amari Cooper. I mean, today he had a million drops that he could have scored touchdowns on. You look at Zeke, he sent him away because he didn't want to give him the money. Smart move. Now we have him on a cheap deal. He looked very good today. He hurdled someone in the first play of the game. Like, people know on this show, I am not the biggest Jerry guy. I rip him apart constantly. But listen, when a guy deserves his flowers and he gets the stuff done that he's supposed to and he helps the team out, perfect. Good. He did great today. He did great. He really helped the team out. But that narrative has to stop because yes, is the price tag really big? Absolutely. But is that the going rate for a quarterback these days at the level of Dak? Dak is a top 4 or 5 quarterback. He might be even top 3 at times. I'm not saying every single week he is, but there's weeks where he might be number 2, number 3, because Patrick Mahomes is always number 1.
He looked good.
But
he looked good today.
Like he played today like a $240 million man. He did. He ran the offense well. The second half, they kind of got out of rhythm, but there was a few injuries. Like Ferguson left the game with that knee. Praying to God that's not too serious.
It looked like a hyperextension.
That's
I don't
what
think
I
it looked
thought.
too serious.
That's what I thought. He was able to move a little bit when he was getting off the field. He was bouncing a little bit. Hopefully that's not too serious. But the offense looked very good. Rico and Zeke look like a great duo.
Yeah.
They look like a great duo.
Yeah, they
Zeke
look good.
gives you that ground and pound. He can get you those couple yards every time. He looked good in the was good in the flat today, getting the ball to him on screens, getting yards for us, which was also good for us when we got Dak out of the pocket. The O-line, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Sometimes good, sometimes a shit. Okay?
Yes, very, very, very shit. But we had 2 rookies on it, all right? And they looked good. And Goyen, how do you say his name?
You're going Italian. Are you talking about a person?
No, this is a real player, Mike. He's our rookie.
Oh, you're like going. I'm like, dude.
I don't know exactly how to say his name. I've heard it said like 3 different times.
You went Gattuso for like 5 minutes. My bad. You're like, I thought you were still on the Gattuso wave at this point.
He looked very good today, and I'm blanking on his name.
Wow, casual.
No, I'm not. Browns, the end.
Oh, Myles Garrett.
There
you go.
I wanted to say, never mind. So Myles Garrett, he did nothing.
He was pressuring. He was
pressuring, but he did nothing.
He got close.
He was close ain't good enough.
True.
He was able to be held off by these rookies long enough for Dak to do work, for our guys to do work. And that's all we needed. Myles Garrett's actually going to get credit for a fumble, and there's a fumble against Dak today. But that's only a fumble because we didn't throw the challenge flag. It should have been an incomplete pass. His arm was coming forward clearly. Like, Garrett didn't even touch the ball.
I know exactly what play you're talking about.
I just want that to be out there in the wilderness as well. CD and Cooks, phenomenal. CD getting triple team and Cooks basically being a wide receiver 1 half the time and just absolutely cooking people, no pun intended, is fantastic to watch. Our defense from the D-line to the linebackers to the secondary is the best defense in the league up there with the Jets. I don't want to hear another word about this Browns defense. I don't want to hear another word. This Browns defense looked miserable for the better part of 4 quarters. Until the end of the game when we had like just random people coming in the game, they looked miserable.
No, listen, I'm going to say this. The Cowboys came out to play today and they showed it. Like they looked damn good today. That's how they should look. You know what I mean? And again, the Cowboys are going to have their weeks where they don't look like that. We've all been either in prime time or against a good team. But like that's a good I still believe that's a good team on that side. But we need to really talk about Deshaun Watson because he's not the same. And I don't think he's ever going to he's not back. He is done.
He's bad.
Yes.
He's really bad.
Like and he looks slower. He reminds me of Eckler last year because like, Eckler, you saw him run, you're like, Jesus Lord. He looks slow. Deshaun Watson scrambling out of the pocket looked slow. Like dust. It was bad. And you could just see the frustration on the receivers' faces too. I think the O-line played shitty. They just couldn't get anything going. Again, that's why I don't think you can give. It's like the Jets, bro. Last year, the offense goes 3 and out. They can't get anything going. You can't expect the defense to hold them the whole game. We know the defense is good. That's not an issue. But that offense is a big problem right now. It's not a big problem, but more so Deshaun Watson. They're not scared to let him throw the ball. No team is going to be scared. They know they're a run-heavy team. They're going to use. I think Jerome Ford had a good game. They're going to use those guys off the bat. But, oh, man, Deshaun Watson is that. It was a freaking terrible contract.
Oh, I mean, they messed up big time. They should. I mean, they shouldn't have paid him in the first place.
It's like a Russell Wilson contract right now.
How do you give a contract to someone who is possibly going to get
jail time,
arrested, thrown in jail forever? You give him a massive contract. You bring him in, and now you're stuck. It was like the Russell Wilson one, like you just said. And the only problem is that, like, Russell Wilson can somewhat play still. Last year, he had a good year, actually, Russell Wilson. As much as we all don't want to believe it because of the narratives that were going on out there, he actually had a good year. He just can't run anymore. So that whole part of his game that was electric and exciting and making highlight tapes all the time isn't there. But he had a good year. Deshaun Watson just sucks. He just straight up is, you called it last week, certified booty cheeks.
It was bad.
Like, he's bad.
Yeah.
He's real bad.
And you hate to see it, too, because the Browns, like, they're ready to make a move, man. Like, they're ready to, if they had an actual serious quarterback on their team, they would really go. Listen, they got Jerry Jeudy scored a touchdown today from Deshaun Watson, whatever.
Oh, dude, we got to talk about that one real quick.
That was a tutty.
You know, I know that. But you're down by like 22 points.
What was he, dancing or something?
They were all running around celebrating like they were winning the game.
It happened in the Washington game, too.
Yeah, Jay and Dan was right.
Yeah. And I was with my buddy. He's like, dude, you're down by like 15 points.
Get to the sideline, figure out how to get another one. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
it drives me crazy.
But I'm very happy for your boys again. Like, Dak getting paid. I don't want to go into it because I just know how you feel.
My last thing here is, so I know we still have 2 more games, right? We have the game tonight, which I have the over in as one of my mortals. But was this Cowboys win, based on who they played against and what everyone thought this defense was and what the offense could be, was this the most impressive win of week 1 so far?
So far, yes. Because they were only, 2.5 point favorites, and that was at home against the Browns. I think at the moment, off the top of my head, that is probably one of the more impressive wins of the week. If I had to go with a second one,
we're winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, enough! You know the cycle, bro.
Don't
get sucked into the cycle.
They're gonna make me say it.
Oh my god! Do I have to send you the cycle picture tomorrow? Do I have to send you the picture?
No, I already
tomorrow?
know the cycle picture.
Okay, all right. Bucks was an impressive win as well.
Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdowns.
Actually, hold on. Scratch that. The New England Patriots. That was an impressive win.
We forgot about that one. Let's get into that one
real quick. Okay, Joe Burrow, very slow out the gate. Jamar Chase, they're just not on the same page right now. T. Higgins. Just put this one behind you. Get there next week. Shout out to Jacoby Brissett. He played a phenomenal game. He was scrambling. He was making all the right reads, all the right moves. Ramondre Stevenson was rushing like no tomorrow. He looked amazing out there. Shout out to Gerard Mayo. Get your first win. I still hate the Patriots, but that was a massive, massive win, being an 8.5 point underdog, 8.5 point underdog, to go into Cincinnati with a guy who took the Bengals to a Super Bowl
Yeah.
and beat them outright. Like they did not. It was a disastrous game for them.
Terrible.
They start out slow, but now you have to pay Jamar. If you're like looking at this like, oh man, like
yeah, but he played.
But he also didn't practice with them at all. So who else do they have to throw to? Besides,
No, I get that.
You got to pay him.
I get that. Mike Gesicki.
Make him happy. Mike Gesicki. Yeah. Jesus. This is what I was scared about with the Bengals, man. And again, I got kind of guilted back into it. Like,
dude, the Bengals are not winning this division. I'm looking at their team right now.
I had the Ravens winning it, so
they're not winning this division. Who'd I have?
The Browns?
I think I had the Browns.
Yeah.
That was wrong too.
Yeah.
Steelers might win this division.
That's hilarious. That's a great win by them too. But
yeah. Does this make you any bit nervous that there could be a fourth dog in the fight for the AFC East?
Hell no, bro. They ain't doing shit. I ain't worried about them. We'll take care of them because we actually have a team that has
just
played.
A question?
They have not played. They like barely played together. Like they just, I don't know. They're just not. It just was not their day, and it was not a bad. It was a really bad start to the fucking year from them. But shout out to the Patriots, shout out to the boys, and shout out to the Bucks. Shout out to Baker Mayfield, and for snapping. And real quick, shout out to Sam Darnold because I try to tell y'all that he's still him. And he torched the Giants today. He torched them. He torched them. And listen, I don't want to hear, oh, we played the Giants. No, I'm not hearing that shit. The Giants made crazy moves on defense, and they actually have a decent defense. Too bad their offense just blows. So, again, their offense was 3 and out all the time, and their defense was on the field. But, hey, Sam Darnold torched them all. He cooked them all.
Let's get into that one.
I mean, it's simple.
28-6. The Vikings absolutely dominated. Sammy Dimes went in there and cooked Danny Dimes.
What are stats? You say stats.
Sammy Dimes went 19-24, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, of course. He had 1 sack, rating of 113.
5 incompletions he had. That's it.
Yep.
He looked accurate out there.
Was not seeing ghosts.
He had time in the pocket. He was making the smart choices. He was throwing the ball on a frozen rope to his receivers. The touchdown to Justin Jefferson, right in the wheelhouse. Perfect position, right where you want the ball to be. Mm-hmm. He had a phenomenal day. And shout out to your mortal for hitting right there. Great job.
Yep. I could have taken them at minus 20, still would have hit.
I will say this. The Giants are just an absolute disaster. And you know what's funny? I don't even think Dimes played that bad today. I actually thought he did okay.
Yeah.
He did have a pick 6, which was a wide receiver screen.
Do you want to hear his stats?
Listen, you can list off the stats you want, but I was watching that game, including the Titans game. They were Titans TV up at the top, and the Giants were up at the bottom TV, and the O-line was just a disaster. They could not block shit.
Yeah, but like
not a thing, bro.
This is like year 8 of us just going into this saying that the Giants have no O-line. Like, how many years can we just keep?
It's on them.
Like, this is horrible. This is terrible. And I honestly think that this loss doesn't hurt as much for Giants fans if they aren't wearing those uniforms. Those uniforms are horrendous.
Yeah, I actually like. I don't know. I was a fan.
No, they shouldn't wear them again after this. They got to just start rattling off different uniforms. You know, like. Maybe you come out with that jersey, but like your white pants and a normal helmet. And you just start mixing stuff. Don't worry if it matches or not.
Yeah.
Just start mixing.
Malik Neighbors didn't like it, so you cannot wear that again. And he had a decent day. He didn't get targeted as much. I'm not saying Danny Dimes is him. He's still certified booty cheeks, but he didn't play as bad as everyone thinks. I'm just going to lay that out there. Do I think he's the guy? Of course not. The Giants are in a really, really, really bad position, and it's... Mm-hmm. How are you gonna restart this? How are you gonna fix this shit? How? All right, how do you fix this?
If you actually look at this offense and what it's made up of, it's not terrible if you have an O-line.
No, it's. I mean, they have mediocre receivers besides Malik and maybe Wan'Dale Robinson.
You got Darius Slayton, who has his games every now and then, but he's not. He's a good 3. He's a good 3 or 4.
He's a bum.
He is. But then you got Jalen Hyatt getting 1 target in the game.
A bum.
Like that is an ultimate bust right there.
A bum. He's a bust.
unreal.
Why do you think I took Malik Neighbors?
No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the Giants suck. Okay, I tried to give them something. I'm sorry, Giants fans. Y'all suck.
I'm sorry, Curdy.
I really tried.
Devon, I feel really for you guys, man. I really do.
Go Skull.
Because this is not fun to watch.
No, terrible.
Shout out to Christian as well.
All right, let's get into the Dolphins Jags because a lot happened today, both before the game, during the game, after the game. Where do you want to start at this one? You want to start during the game? You want to go after the game?
I'm going to go before the game.
Okay, yeah. Tyreek Hill got arrested.
Just turn your eye. He's got a game. It's right outside the stadium. Jesus Lord, man. What are we doing here? You got him on the ground? Like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's funny, but like I immediately thought of Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Immediately. And I'm like, dude, he's going off for 4 touchdowns, 250 yards. Mm-hmm. He had a touchdown. I think he went over 100 yards.
He had 7 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown. And he was arrested that morning. He was arrested 2 hours before the game.
MVP. He's an MVP. Like Scotty Scheffler after that shot, a 65 or some shit. Just went berserk.
Crazy, dude.
Tyreek just did the same. And it's funny. I honestly think it's funny. I hated that they put him on the ground and were like, dude, it's just like, well, he's probably speeding. Okay, like the dude's got a game to play. He's got a game to play. Turn a blind eye. All right, come on. That's Tyreek Hill. Aren't you guys from Miami? Damn cops. Like, you want to win the game?
The cop that cuffed him was put on administrative leave instantly.
She's like, bro, do you now know who that is? Do you not see the freaking car that he's driving?
But Tyreek Hill made a good. So after the game,
I didn't watch that
conference. Okay. He made a good point. He was like, "What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Like I'm just in jail today."
Yeah.
But he is Tyreek Hill, so he played a football game.
Yeah.
And he balled out. So it is a weird situation where we saw the same thing with Scotty Scheffler. You know, like, do we have to start just getting these guys Ubers? Should we be picking them up should we make them all like soccer does this? Ready? Even for home games, they'll go. Everyone stays at a hotel. When they leave the hotel, they get in a bus.
Yeah, that should 100% be the way to do it.
Like this would eliminate so much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, why put your players at risk? Like they shouldn't be driving to the fucking game.
Yeah, and Marshawn Lynch said it. Like
you play once a week.
Marshawn Lynch was taking shots before the game. So like, do you really want that guy driving before the game? He's driving drunk.
Yeah, you play once a week, bro.
Come on, Roger.
You could sacrifice one day on game day to just be on the bus with your teammates. Like,
come on, Roger.
What do we got? Yeah, get it together, bro. Between Sao Paulo, Brazil, and this shit, get it the fuck together, dude. This is why we boo you every time we see you on the draft. Every single time. Because you do dumb shit like this, and it either hurts players. I mean, Jordan Love got hurt. Again, probably not his fault, but like, come on now. What are we doing? So,
all right, let's get into the game because I'm going to give you the floor here. I don't know how the Dolphins won this game, to be honest with you.
I don't know either. I truly don't know how they won this game. They had a missed field goal by Jason Sanders, which was an atrocious attempt. But the Jags had their numbered pretty much the whole game until maybe like midway through the fourth quarter. I didn't watch fully the last part of it, but the defense was swarming to that offensive line. Again, I feel like a broken record saying this shit, but that offensive line was not good today. No. Tua was trying to climb up in the pocket. He's a little too slow to be running. He was getting caught up by Eric Armstead, Trayvon Walker. Like they were all over him. The swing passes, like quick out passes, were just not hitting. He had some overthrows. Tua did not have. I don't think he had a good day today. And
when you look at it from that point of view, yes, I don't think he had a good game either. He still put up 338 yards, but that's a testament to having Hill and Waddle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But what I'm looking at here is their run game was abysmal today.
The Dolphins?
Yeah. Like there was no run game. Mm-hmm. There was zero run game.
They had them. The Jaguars had them. And it still was blowing my mind that the Dolphins somehow won this game. They had them. Trevor looked good. I thought Trevor had some really good throws. Brian Thomas played well. Again, a couple of overthrows by him too. Gabe Davis had a good game. I thought ETN played really well today. I don't know how they lost it. I really don't. So again, give credit. Maybe Doug Peterson tried to be a little flashy. I don't know. Again, I didn't watch the end of it, but I thought the Jags, it was 14-0, and they just had their number. I thought the game was over, just like the Titans and the Bears game. But hey, that's football, right?
Honestly, this game was a blueprint Carolina Panthers win. Like don't lead the entire game,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end of the game, just figure out a way to kick a field goal and win the game.
Yeah.
Have no lead throughout the entire game,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow win it.
Yeah. So, I mean.
I can't believe how bad they were today.
Who?
The Panthers.
Oh, God.
My God.
I feel, we can get into it real quick. I feel so bad for Bryce Young. Maybe it's him, but.
I said this to you. Short Kings can't play quarterback.
But Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdowns today.
He's not a short king. He's a
he
short
is
prince.
a short. That was his knock coming in the freaking league.
He's a short prince. Short prince. It's different.
I guess whatever works in your world, Muller. Whatever floats your damn boat.
No, he's different. It's not. He's not like He's not like one of those guys that look athletic. You know what I mean? Like you can't be short and look athletic.
He is short.
You know what I mean? Like
he looks short though. Like he's tiny.
Baker can look short because he looks like a frat boy meathead. So he'll figure it out along the way. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really know what he's getting himself into on the field.
He had a great
but
day.
He figures it out along the way.
He looked good today. That whole offense looked good. But the Panthers, man, like they just have no direction. Like they're probably even worse than the Giants. To a division game, getting worked by Derek Carr and the Saints. Give them credit. They played an amazing game, but man, nothing. I mean, Bryce Young's stat line is disturbing. Like I don't even want to look at it because it just hurts me. Because this poor kid, again, I'm not saying everything's not on him. Yeah, he's got some. He didn't look good today. Like he's got some involvement in this shit show that's going on in Carolina. Just the receiving core, the running backs, just it's a disaster down there. And he got drafted into that situation, and you can see, hey, you got drafted first overall, you're going to go to the worst team in the league. You get drafted second overall, you're going to become C.J. Stroud. Look at him. I feel bad for him. I really do, because I've seen this with the Jets year in and year out between Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson sucked, so he's an outlier. Mark Sanchez was another guy. Who else? Fucking Josh McCown. Not saying they drafted, but like they pick these guys up and they start them. It's like I feel for these guys because he was on a different team. He'd be a completely different player, in my opinion. If he had a line that blocked for him.
If he had a line and his organization didn't trade away all of their assets when they got him.
I'm a disaster.
Like there were other guys in the draft. Like they didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like there were other guys of the same quality.
Was he that solidified as like the top quarterback?
In their book, I guess, but wasn't he the same draft?
But even
as CJ?
you, like, what? Because obviously this happened last year, and like I don't watch as much college as you do. Like, was he the best quarterback in college that year? Like, was it like there was no one that compared to him?
You could look at him and say, yeah, he's probably the best quarterback, but that's just because like you have to pick a best quarterback. Like you could have put other guys up there. Like CJ was up there. There were other guys there that you could have put up there and said they are the best. But I think it had to do with him. You know, he's got the pedigree. He's got the national. He's Bama. He's got Saban there. Like that stuff kind of built his resume a bit. And then you look at CJ Stroud in Ohio State. You got Jason Day, or not Jason Day. That's a golfer. Ryan Day, and he's I mean, let's be honest. Day is a choke artist. He'll probably choke this one away with a $20 million squad again this year. But like you look at that, and CJ didn't really win, and it's like, all right, can he really be the best? He's not winning. But then you come to this year, and I mean, Caleb didn't win shit, and somehow his jersey is getting retired. He goes number one. Everyone loves him. Somehow he's the one getting interviewed after the game. I mean, I know he's a starting quarterback, but he's the one getting interviewed.
That was the last person to get interviewed.
His offense put up 2 points in a terrible win. So I just don't know what to think of this whole situation. I'm going to refrain from comment because I'm Roll Tide.
I just still can't believe that bet, bro. Like when you say it, it's just like I'm watching that game and I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck is happening right now? And of course, like just my luck. But what else you got there? I know we got a couple other ones.
All right, so last game is Falcons Steelers. Now, this one we don't really have to get into the game as much. I mean, we can a little bit because the Falcons, who were supposed to be so great and have people picking them to win the Super Bowl, got beat by a Steelers team who had their quote-unquote backup quarterback in running Russie's offense, and all they did was kick 6 field goals and beat the Falcons.
Shout out to the boss.
Yeah, dude, unreal leg on that guy. No, but I mean, we have controversy there on both teams because now you look at the Steelers. Fields looked good, not bad, good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that Russell Wilson would have been that much better, and he got you a W against a very good Falcons team.
He did.
So now you have to look at next week. You know, do you rush Wilson back in? Like,
that's a decision for
keep
Mike
Fields
Tomlin
to keep going? And honestly, the way Fields played today, I think you adjust the playbook, add a few more options in, and let Fields just cook. Let him cook, similar to what we said about Lamar.
Yeah.
Just let him go out there and play. And you know what? If he starts to really like screw it up, you have Russell Wilson there. And, you know, but you don't have to force Russell Wilson to play if his calf's all messed up. Calf injuries suck.
Where did that come from?
Sierra was probably giving him the good. You know what I mean?
It was such a random notification to pop up for an injury report. Like, oh, Russell Wilson's calf. Like, dude, I didn't hear shit.
I mean,
about his
happened.
calf
It
all
happened
year.
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But then I heard on Friday he didn't travel with the team.
What would
but then
you
he
do?
was there.
I feel like
I
right
would go
now,
with Fields. I'd go with Fields.
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
go
if
Fields.
if you get a dub like that, again, that's you're a run heavy team, and oh no, Stafford's limping and Puka's slow to get up. Sorry, how to say that?
Yeah. I need so many points to be scored soon, very soon. Just gotta get that out there. And Stafford going down, like I don't want to see Stetson Bennett play in this football game.
Yeah, no,
Actually, no. Yep, it's Stetson Bennett. Yep.
Oh no,
Nah, he's good. He's good.
Look at his right ankle, Achilles.
No, he's good. He's playing. I'm a few seconds ahead. It's 4th and 4. We're gonna go, but Puka is injured. Okay, back to this. So that's the Steelers' dilemma. I think their dilemma is a lot easier than the Falcons' dilemma. Kirko, you didn't look too good, buddy. You didn't look too good, and you got a young guy behind you who looked pretty freaking good in preseason.
Thank God I have both of them. So,
there is controversy there because how many weeks can you go through this with Kirk Cousins unable to move? He can't really go under center. They're running him out of the pistol. Like can you really? Is this sustainable?
again, remember when we talked about this post draft? Was Michael Penix the right pick? Now looking at it,
It's looking like it.
it kind of is like because now you have a guy who has learned a little bit behind him, can go in right away and probably produce. But again, we can't knock them yet. It was an ugly win, but I will say they used Bijan finally.
Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown.
Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown.
Everyone saw that one coming.
I don't know how Drake London did, but they were not. I was watching that game. It was ugly. That game was ugly. Dude, it was a ground and pound, physical, ugly ass game.
The first
it was
half
not. It was not fun
was
to watch.
Chaos.
Yeah, it was not a fun game to watch. It was a very defensive game. I thought TJ Watt looked like the best player out in the field, and the whole league today. He looked fucking incredible. No one could contain him. He looked unstoppable, and he should be Defensive Player of the Year, which he should have been the last 3 years. So give the man his damn flowers. Just give him the fucking award already.
He's unstoppable. He made Jordan go back to being a Steelers fan today.
He did. Jordan was on one today. But yeah, Kirk did. He just had no time in the pocket today. And I think with a guy like that, you have to give him time. He's not a scrambler. Everyone knows that. Yep. He was not handling the pressure well. Bijan was getting run. He was running like no tomorrow, which is good. They could have been a little bit more creative on offense, I should say, because that's all it was just running, man. Like you paid this guy all this money to just hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. I get it. You want to get him involved and whatnot, but hey, listen, you got Kirk Cousins who could still sling it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think with those weapons there, I don't see how they should, because I think they have some decent weapons. They have Drake London, they have Kyle Pitts. Again, this kind of, it kind of like, I don't know. I feel like a hypocrite because like I'm talking about the Eagles like they don't have weapons, and I'm saying just use Saquon, but like that's what works for them. Like that's their identity. Like we saw it last year. The Falcons don't really have one yet. And I think they were too reliant on the run game where they should have been a little bit more pass heavy. Because, again, the Eagles was a great mix, a little bit more on the run side, which they should have been. The Falcons, they were like 75% running. Like, dude, we got to pass the ball here. So, ugly loss, great win for the Steelers. I think they'll come back next week, and I'm excited to see the Falcons really play. So, I like them next week a lot, to be honest. Kirk in primetime, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it, bro.
Mike goes on probation watch, instantly takes Kirko in prime time.
I might do it. I've already been thinking about it because I hate starting the year 0-2, especially the way I did today. It hurts. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, it just an ugly game, man. I'm glad I didn't watch it because it was not there. I know we're probably like really low on time here or high on time. Shout out to Bo Nix. I thought he played okay today. They lost. Seahawks. Kenneth Walker had a great game. Geno had a great game. I thought Bo Nix, for his first ever game being on the field, he held his own. He did have a garbage time touchdown, but that team, again, is bad. They don't have the weapons. I will say, I feel like last year there were a couple of bad teams that you knew were bad, but had potential now. Like the Cardinals, they almost beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison didn't do a damn thing.
Dude.
Don't stress. Do not panic. Do not panic. You'll be fine. He'll be all right.
I'm not. I have no skin in the game here, but it pissed me off that this dude just basically did nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, again, that's one game.
You can't wear a Rolex out to the field and do nothing.
True. On the Bo Nix thing, I think he held his own, and to play in Seattle against a team like that, who I think we kind of are underrating, that's all right. But again, you can't do much with that team. You have fucking Javonte Williams, who's running the ball. You have Cortland Sutton, and who else? Marvin Mims, Greg Dulcich. You're not going to win games with those guys. Listen, that's where talent matters, bro. You're not going to win games with them. Yeah. Sorry, it's not going to happen. But that's kind of it for me. So real quick, you have anything else?
No. Mm-hmm.
So Jets play tomorrow. I'm tense. I don't even know how to describe it. I think tomorrow I will give you a full description of how I feel about this game.
Okay.
I just don't know, man. I'm nervous because I've seen all these teams. The Panthers are just the same old Panthers. The Giants are the same old Giants. Are the Jets going to be the same old Jets? Are we? I know deep down we can win this game, but everything has to go right. And with the Jets, nothing ever goes right with them. So I'm not anticipating a bad moment where it's oh no, this just happened and now our season's screwed. It might. Something might happen, but I really hope it doesn't. But I think we can win the game, man. I really do. I think we're going to be ready. I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a solid day. He needs to. This is what I think is going to happen. I think the Niners are going to blitz a lot. They're going to test out this new O-line. They're going to just try to hover around Breece and make sure he doesn't go crazy. That's going to be their priority is Breece Hall. Get him on lockdown. Blitz the shit out of the Jets O-line because, again, they're new. There's a lot of new faces on that O-line, and we saw them last year. They were garbage. They're better this year, but why would they stop? You got to test them. You have to. They're not going to sit back and let Aaron Rodgers chuck the ball. They're not going to give checkdowns to Breece. I think your number one target is Garrett Wilson. You got to let that guy just put him out in space.
Let him cook.
Hopefully, and just let him cook and get him the ball. And then that's where it will open up a little bit more for Breece Hall. We're going to see that right off the bat. I don't think Breece is going to get any rushing yards immediately. It's going to be tough for him. I think he actually might have. I don't think he's going to have that good of a game, which sucks for me because I know he's a stud. I just don't see him having the game that everyone thinks he's going to have. Maybe 12 to 15 points. I don't know. But I think Garrett's going to go crazy. I really do. So
first game with Raj.
First game with Rodgers.
We're gonna no. This is the first season with Rodgers. We're back.
We are back.
What are you gonna do if he comes out with an American flag again?
I'm going to go to the Fahey.
It's a very aggressive response to seeing the American flag.
Listen, man, I've been down this road so many times, and I just want it to be competitive. I want to see a good game, and I want to see this team where there's actually potential where we can actually make the playoffs. And here we go now. Tyrod Taylor's in, and the season's over again for the fucking 10th straight year. Like, we got to keep the man healthy. We'll actually have a chance to win. And I have faith. And I think the spread is like what it was, 5.5. It's probably lower now. I don't know if I'm taking that again. I think they could win it. Am I 100% certain? No. But I'm rooting for them. I'm excited because I've been thinking about this game a lot, and I'm ready. I'm ready to see them play. So
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's going to be a good-ass game, bro. I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. I'm going to be kind of in my zone. It's a Monday night game. Bad juju from last year. Can we reverse it? Can we come out strong? And can we get the dub? Listen, the Bills and the Fins and the Patriots, all of the AFC East just got to win.
Yes.
Are we going to be the only one who does not get a win? Because I swear to God, it just is making sense right now that we don't get a win, and we're 4th in the AFC East. Like, it's on a silver platter, bro. But if we all get a win, kudos. That's amazing.
I hope you guys respectfully
lose.
Don't get a win.
Come on. I'm like, Mueller, what are you gonna say, bro? Like, come on now. But yeah, listen, that's how I think the game plan is gonna go. They're gonna test the O-line and Rodgers, and they're gonna keep Breece Hall. They're gonna keep an eye on him because, again, we have Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, who is tough to stay healthy, Malachi Corley, rookie, Alan Lazard, good connection with Rodgers, but I don't know how that's going to go. Tyler Conklin, average at best. Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious to see who's going to be out there, especially the personnel. So, yeah, that's it on my part. I know we're missing a couple games. We don't have to talk about them.
We don't got to talk about them.
It's been long. So,
yep.
Yeah, week 1 in the books. Finally, we're here. We're
back.
really watching football as we speak. Like, follow, subscribe. We need those subscribers, guys. Please help us out.
If you're watching right now, I need you to comment who you think's going to win the Super Bowl.
And give me Immortal next week, too.
You need it.
I got him. I have 2 opportunities now, so I'm on probation watch.
All right, that's all we got, guys.
See you guys later.
See ya.